I was recently playing the Pikmin series, and I was thinking about Pikmin 5, which reminded me of the quote Tezuka had in an interview with Eurogamer, where towards the end of the interview, they asked, after a 10-year wait for the new game, could Nintendo try not to ensure Pikmin 5 waits so long? And Tezuka said, I think that would be best as well. But also, we'll try not to let everyone wait. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just correcting myself. I didn't mean to say Tezuka. I meant to say Tezuka. So maybe Pikmin 5 will be here within the next 8 years. I'm not sure. Hopefully that is the case, though, because taking a look, Pikmin 4 has sold about 3.5 million copies, which does make it the best-selling Pikmin to date. If we add the numbers from Pikmin 3 on Wii U and Pikmin 3 Deluxe, that does barely beat Pikmin 4 in terms of overall sales. But with it being as just the standalone, I guess, release, without counting re-releases, Pikmin 4 is the highest selling Pikmin, of course, to date. And I think that that's hopefully going to play a part in any release for Pikmin 5, hopefully soon. And yeah, with that, I just wanted to talk about things that I want to see with Pikmin 5. This isn't going to be anything make or break, so I just wanted to go over that. And if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, let's get into those ideas I want to see for Pikmin 5. I think that each of the Pikmin games, the main line 1, 2, 3, 4, let's not count Hey. I guess you can if you want, but Pikmin 1, 2, 3, and 4, I feel like have their strengths. Of course, we could talk about weaknesses, but I feel like they all bring something different to the table, and maybe they could incorporate all of that into Pikmin 5. One change that comes to mind for the Pikmin series, and maybe this is going to sound a little weird or not, but we've always had the red Pikmin as the very first Pikmin we get. I understand that they're the strongest in terms of overall strength, as long as you don't include rock or purple. They're kind of the overall best rounded, the most well-rounded Pikmin is what I was trying to say out of all of them. And I understand that's why we get them right away, but I think it would be nice to be able to have a different type be brought in right away, whether it's blue or yellow. I feel like having that change we could get something else in the mix right away as far as, obstacles or something else for Pikmin 5. That's just something I'd want to see where it's not just red right away. And I feel like if we do have a different type of Pikmin, like let's just say blue, for instance, and we have to traverse through some water, and then we finally find red Pikmin, I feel like having more fire-like obstacles or enemies would make more sense and flow well, because we don't really have a ton of those after we get the red Pikmin. It's usually just the red Pikmin are the staples for the first ones we get, and then as you progress through the games, you get the other, enemies and obstacles, walls for the other types of Pikmin. While red, I feel like we do get those obstacles and enemies, but I feel like there could be more of an emphasis on those, like having a boss that is just for for red type Pikmin. I think that would be really well received. I know I made a video recently about Ochi being overpowered, and it would be nice, I think, to have Ochi or some variation of Ochi in Pikmin 5, but not be as a staple for the game. Maybe have Ochi in like an easy mode, or have it featured in select parts of the game. But I feel like Ochi did take away from the Pikmin overall in the game of Pikmin 4, and it would be nice to see Ochi kind of take a backseat, because as I played through Pikmin 4 and I did an Ochi-less run, or a minimal Ochi run, the game really felt more like a Pikmin game where it was that survival, and it wasn't just I have Ochi now, those enemies are not nearly as frightening as they were previously. I really had to kind of go back and forth, and really, there was a sense of fear playing without Ochi. And that's something I would want to see, because that's what 1, 2, and 3 really represented well in the franchise. And Pikmin 4 didn't give me that sense, except for like Cavern for a King. That's really when it kind of heightened. But I don't want that towards the end of the game. I would like to see that throughout the whole thing, where enemies that are much bigger than you, you have that sense of, can I overcome this enemy, instead of just, I can bum rush with Ochi, and then the Pikmin will fall on top of the enemy and destroy it. So really, I think having Ochi as an easy mode, or something where it's not so prominent, would be something I would look forward to at the very least. But yeah, having Ochi take a back seat, I think, is something I would want in the next game, if they choose to have Ochi in the game. I would like to see Pikmin 5 not have Captain Olimar in there. You know, kind of do more like a Pikmin 3 where, you know, you kind of crash, oh no, you have to get the fruit, but then obviously Olimar's in there. But Pikmin 3, for the most part, did very well without heavily relying on Captain Olimar. 1 and 2, of course, you control him. In 3, we see him towards the end, and also Olimar's assignments in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And then Pikmin 4, he's kind of another main focal point, because you play him at the very beginning, and that's who you rescue. And then, you know, you can do his retelling of the story of essentially Pikmin 1. But I just want to see how the franchise can do without him for even just one game. I wouldn't mind, granted we get 2 more Pikmin games, that one of those doesn't have him, and then maybe go back to him. So I guess in 5, I would like to see no Captain Olimar, but then 6, they can go back if it's not well received. But I just want to see how the series can do without Captain Olimar, as it is called Pikmin and not Pikmin and Olimar, or Olimar and Pikmin. That's just one thing I want to see, how they can operate. But I know that Pikmin 5 will have Captain Olimar, because at the end of Pikmin 4, as everybody's saying their goodbyes, you hear Olimar's voice come up. That's my impression. Never said it was good. But then we read the text that says, until my next adventure. So if Pikmin 5 is a thing, we're going to have Captain Olimar in it. Which, again, it's not a bad thing. I just want to see how they can do without him. I talked about Ochi being like an easy mode, or not in the game as prominently. I think that having the normal mode, spicy mode, and ultra spicy mode in 3 Deluxe was great. That'd be something I'd like to see in the next game. Not necessarily saying that ultra spicy would limit to just 60 Pikmin. I didn't think that was as bad of a crutch. I don't want to see it limited to 50 or anything like that, but I would like to see the enemies be stronger, or be faster, or even recover their own health. I did enjoy that in Pikmin 2 when, I forget the exact monsters, I'd have to look them up, but if you didn't bring them back, then their health would start replenishing. That's something I'd like to see if we get a difficulty setting for Pikmin 5. Having just 3 types out at once in the open world, I guess in the main area, not going down below, going to the caves, that was kind of a hindrance. I understand it, because you don't want to have all the types running around and you're very limited with that, but I would like to see that expand to even just 5 types, because if you have an obstacle that requires blue Pikmin, you have one that requires yellow, and then red, it would be nice to even throw, you know, like winged Pikmin out to be able to gather materials back, or enemies, or parts, or fruits, treasure, whatever the case may be. Or even, you know, purple Pikmin or white Pikmin so they're faster. I do want to see that expand more, because I certainly understand the purpose of having a limitation to the types of Pikmin. I think it would be nice to even up it to 5. 4 seems kind of odd because we have, the original 3 types, and then we've had 2 new types in Pikmin 2. We had 2 new types in Pikmin 3, and we even had 2 new types in Pikmin 4. So I think having 5 would make sense, and you can even do 20 of each type. So that's something I'd like to see, because when you go into the caves, I think it's 7 as the max for the types you can have. But yeah, that is one thing I really would like to see, just I think more for Dandori purposes. But yeah, opening up from 3 to 5 would be great for open world parts of the game. Pikmin 4 really relied on human-made environments or structures, and as appealing as that was at first, I feel like it didn't wear out so much as more as I got bored of it. So I would like to see in the next installment to have it go back to more natural environments, but also have 1 or 2 environments that are just human structures, buildings, whatnot, because going to the primordial thicket, that was really nice. That felt more in line with 1, 2, and 3, but it was nice to be able to see that change. I just didn't think that it was as necessary to have as many places as they did for the human structures. The human environments is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I keep saying structures, but those human environments, as cool as they were, I feel like maybe they need to take a step back and reduce the amount that they have in the next game. Flarlick was a great addition in Pikmin 4, and it really made it so you couldn't just storm enemies right away and you had to build up your army. It felt really more like a build-up, and that is something I do want to see carry over to the next game. I think that, if they do a spicy mode or an ultra spicy mode, it would be great to see even the Flarlick be reduced from expanding from 10 Pikmin to 5, so then you have to find more and they're later in the games, as opposed to, being able to get 10 more each time. I think that would be a great way to add to the difficulty for spicy mode and ultra spicy mode, if they choose to do so. One thing that I did notice that's only been in Pikmin 2 is we have ultra spicy spray that returned in 3 and 4, but ultra bitter spray has been the only one in 2 that has not made its way onto 3 and 4. It is really overpowered, so maybe reduce the time that the enemies are stoned, but seeing ultra bitter spray would be kind of a cool callback to the franchise. In Pikmin 1, you have a 30-day time frame, and in Pikmin 3, if you collect all the fruits, you have 99 days. And in Pikmin 2 and in Pikmin 4, there is no time frame established to when you have to beat the game by. And I think that for 5, I think it would be nice is if they kind of did a hybrid of the two, where whatever the case may be, whether you're running low on air supply or, you only have enough food to last you however many days and you continue to grow that, it would be nice as if there was something where you can expand it and then, after the halfway point or something, it grows enough to where that time limitation is done. Kind of like I was thinking in like how Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 4, you can beat the game, but really those are halfway points. It'd be nice as if, you quote unquote beat the game, and then when you return back, if you want to 100% it, that time limitation is gone. I'm not really sure how that could be implemented in a way that is kind of fearful but forgiving, but I feel like that would be something I could see in the next installment. Or, having difficulty settings, having that actually removed and then only being for spicy mode or ultra spicy mode. That'd be something I think that would be for veteran players. And even, spicy mode, it's turned off after you beat the game, and then ultra spicy mode, it's still on, and every treasure or fruit you get, it increases it that much more by a day or whatever. That would be something I think would be also a great addition for veteran players. And the last thing that I want to talk about in this video that I'd like to see in Pikmin 5, having Dandori return, but also Bingo Battle return, but have those be online, because you can play the main game so much, but I feel like the game would have a ton of replayability having those modes online where you can not just see your scores, but also be able to pit yourself up against other players. And I think that just having that challenge would be a lot of fun. That's something I know that I would go back to and play if those were online. But those are the things I wanted to talk about. Possible ideas for Pikmin 5. Again, just my ideas. But yeah, if you are new here, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and until next time, take care.